Well, hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, excited to be with you and share the news with you people. I am telling you, they are completely clueless, okay? They are delusional, and it is going to result in major losses for them. We're going to cover a number of issues on this show today, but I'm really going to dive in and show you just how these liberals are thinking right now and why they are going to lose so epically in such epic fashion. It's ultimate. I'm telling you, people, you will love this report. Anyway, smash that like if you would as you come in and chat it up with where you're from. So I'm gonna. Well, I've got a number of places I'm going to go. I'm going to talk a little bit about Georgia. I've got Mike Pence is in Georgia, by the way, campaigning for guess who. Okay, we've got the issues taking place in Pennsylvania. And a lot of people are like, no, Trump says Dr. Oz, so you must do Dr. Oz. And I'm like, I don't like Dr. Oz. So, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Just because you don't like a candidate somebody endorses doesn't mean that the person's all bad. I'm telling you, we have got to be able to see through a lens where we are able to be multifaceted and not just follow the dictates. Then not let anybody dictate how we think, I guess is what I'm talking about here. I've also got a tremendous read about a guy who criticized BLM. Okay, this is amazing. He was fired from Thomson Reuters. It's an amazing story. Okay. I can't wait to get into that one. So I see Tennessee on. I see James from East Texas. I see Teresa from New Hampshire. B-Dog from British Columbia. Good to see a Canadian on. Candace Taylor down in Georgia. He's not on, but Lillian is talking about Candace, and Candace is a great pick. Why was she not endorsed? It would have given her a big boost, and she is by far absolutely the most pro-mega candidate down there. Okay, so anyways, I will mention, since Canada, I just saw Canada on, this is one of my other My Pillows. Yes, my travel Canadian My Pillow. MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack will save you up to 66%. Izzy Dogs just got his mother load, he called it. I broadcast a church sermon on Sunday from on my other channel, Neil of the North, where I put some church sermons up from my small country church. We have a great pastor, does a really good job. I said Thailand, Buddy Mac from Thailand is on. Good to see Antoine on, as always. Nova Scotia. So yeah, those of you in Canada, you get yourself a My Pillow. I use these travel pillows every time I go hunting and camping, but I also use them as a knee pillow if I start sleeping on my side. I always lose it in the middle of the night. But anyways, I love the My Pillow products, and I love those sheets. Get yourself some of those sheets. All right, Utah. I'd love to go elk hunting in Utah. One of these days I'll get somebody to invite me to go out there. But let's get into the news here. Okay, let me just include this. I'm going to pull. Don't just leave because you see where the article is from. This I am giving you this because this is going to show you how these people are thinking. I've got two. One from MSNBC. I think I've got that queued up to go next. No, I'm gonna do those two first so you guys can see this. Then we're going to get into some major malfeasance again from the FBI. We are going to prove some amazing things there. All right, so let's just add this to the stream and get right into it. Okay, so the Democrats' midterm identity crisis. You need to understand how Democrats are interpreting their losses right now. Okay, listen to this. They admit Biden's agenda is stuck. His party hasn't figured out how to replace it, by Ronald Brownstein. President Joe Biden arrived in office with a throwback theory of how to expand his party's support. He sought to focus. Listen to this. Don't. Look, if you're eating anything right now, stop. If you're drinking anything, take a swig, swallow, because you might snort it out your nose. Listen to this. President Joe Biden arrived in office with a throwback theory of how to expand his party's support. He sought to focus his presidency on delivering, I can't make it through this, kitchen table benefits to low and middle income families, for example, with stimulus checks and expansive child tax credit, while downplaying his involvement in high-profile cultural disputes and emphasizing bipartisanship. Oh my gosh. Harry Truman or Hubert Humphrey would have recognized this approach. It was an updated version of the economic first political formula that allowed the New Deal era Democrats of Biden's youth to dominate blue-collar communities. When was Biden's youth? That was like a long time ago. Anyways, like his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, from the Depression through the 1960s. But nearly 16 months into his presidency, Biden's plan has been battered on both ends. Look, people, the Atlantic never does good reporting. That's these people are complete frauds, but this is going to show you exactly how the Democrat Party is thinking. See, they actually thought they say that Biden campaigned on being this moderate, which he kind of did, right? He was supposed to be like the voice of reason. Kitchen table benefits. Okay, well, we know what those kitchen table benefits led to. They led to some of the highest inflation we've ever seen. Okay, the inflation we're seeing today is due to the very policies of just giving away free money. We knew that would happen. Okay, anybody who knows a basic bit of economics knew that was going to happen. So it has the opposite effect. Instead of helping middle income America, it harms them while helping, guess who? The ultra rich, as we saw, of course, through the course of the pandemic and just in general, the owners, well, the stockholders in these large corporations. Now a day of reckoning is approaching. But listen to this, it gets better. Biden has been battered on both ends. Republican in Washington, D.C. have dashed his hopes of cooperation. Honestly, they just said that. But the Republicans in Washington, D.C. have dashed his hopes of cooperation apart from a deal on bipartisan infrastructure package. Okay. It wasn't an infrastructure package. The infrastructure bill, which funded gender studies in Pakistan and all over the world, very little of that bill went to infrastructure. Okay. Bipartisan infrastructure package. Okay. And they did cooperate with him on that. The Republicans, they've also cooperated with him on sending more money to Ukraine. They've cooperated with him on confirming that terrible Supreme Court justice nomination. I could go on about all the ways in which the rhinos have bended to the will of President Joe Biden. Okay. Anyways. This is foolishness, but this is how these people are thinking, and this is why they're going to lose. I'll get into this more as I get in the next article too. And his desire to de-emphasize culture wars has been undermined by a red state blitzkrieg on social issues. Okay, this is so hilarious. Did you guys notice that? Who was that? They're all upset with Kathy Barnett in Philadelphia because she takes on the LGBTQIAPPXYZ people. Did you see this? So they're saying that she can't win because she doesn't line up with that stuff. And now they're saying that it's a red street blitzkrieg on social issues. Which ones? Because they can't even seem to agree on that. This is why we need to get the rhinos out. That's why I'm in Kathy Barnett's camp, because the very reason they say she can't win is the very reason I would vote for her. And you have to understand that they consistently told us that Trump couldn't win either, right? You guys all remember that? Oh, yeah, Trump can't win. Oh, if he gets elected, the Republicans are going to lose. Maybe he'll win the primary, but they'll lose the general election because Trump. Oh, gosh. They're saying the same thing again, but in different ways. And so now they're saying that we need to embrace the LGBTQIXXP, just like they said we needed to embrace illegal immigration, which was the very reason Trump won. Are you guys with me? Do you guys hear this? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? They go down this road, and I've had so many people unsubscribe because I won't support President Trump's pick, Dr. Oz. Fine, whatever. I really don't care. I probably lost 50 subscribers the other day because I did a great video on that. And so it's nuts. People are nuts over this stuff. Okay. Dr. Oz, who wants to give puberty blockers to kids and all this kind of stuff. And we're just supposed to blindly support him. And it's just unbelievable. So, I have no problem with, Kathy Barnett having tweeted certain things over the course of time. I've looked through them. I've read them. It's okay. I'm totally okay with it. I've read them. I understand why she would say certain things. They kind of go on about how, she supported Cruz in the primaries and so on. And it's like, hey, so did I, problems about, she talked about systemic racism. People, there actually is real racism out there. I mean, if you ever want to see it, just go over to Gab and look at some posts. My friend George, who went by the handle Bahizzi, he was told, I look at one of his posts and they told him to go back to Africa. They called him, the N-word, and all this kind of stuff. Look, I mean, it's real. It became more prevalent during Barack Obama's term. I mean, let's just be real about it. But that doesn't mean that it's this, you know, yeah, I can't get lost on that subject. Okay. What's with Oz and his dual citizenship? So this is, and I love George. And any of you who followed him when he was over here and who follow him on his other platforms know he's fantastic. And I saw the meanest, nastiest comments of all time. Just it's ridiculous. And George just carries on. Okay, so I have absolutely no problem with him. I'm gonna just vary 1 second here. Somebody said Trump endorsed Oz and Purdue. Yes, I want Candace Taylor, but I can actually understand the Purdue nod a little more than I can understand the Oz nod. So I'll just say that, and people get upset with me for saying that, but I'm just talking in terms of not that I think it was the right choice, but I can certainly understand it more. We're going to get into something with Brian Kemp today that's pretty alarming. Okay. I've got two really alarming things with Mr. Brian Kemp. All right, let's get back to this article though. Okay. And his desire to de-emphasize the culture wars has been undermined by Red Straight Blitzkrieg on social issues and the draft Supreme Court opinion overturning Roe v. Wade that exploded into public view last week. So catch that, people. Everybody told us, oh gosh, this is going to be it. This is going to be terrible. They're going to win. People, the Christian conservative movement cares more about Roe v. Wade than any other issue. And if you want to get the conservatives involved in an election, you put that up on the plate. And right now they're talking about they're packing the court and everything. If you want to see conservative Christians come out to vote, you bring Roe v. Wade to the forefront. And now everything that they thought was going to benefit them is going to backfire again, people. These people think they're so smart, but they're just I think Dan Mangino, I had heard him one time talk about stupid, smart people and smart, stupid people. Anyways, it's the stupid people you don't need to worry about because they know they're stupid and they just don't feel like they have this. But it is the smart, stupid people, the people who think they're so smart, but actually are stupid, that are the biggest danger. And now they're the danger to their own party. Okay. Simultaneously, opposition from Democratic Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, combined with moments of intransigence from the party's left, have blocked Biden from delivering the full suite of material benefits he hoped would move working class families of all races back toward the Democrats. But it was never going to work because all of his policies that he's doubled down on. But this is the Atlantic, people. Okay, I got to move on from this piece. You get the idea. If you want to read it, I'll post it. It goes on with more, but it does show you how they're going to lose. I hate giving the Atlantic clicks, but I want to give you guys the article if they can get it. Okay. All right. So on to the next thing. I'm going to move ahead to this one. All right. Now, this is wild. 4 polling takeaways ahead of the 2022 midterm election. This shows you just how blind they are, people. Listen to this. Okay. America's crucial midterm election is about 180 days away, which they will lose epically. I've explained this ad nauseum. People talk about, well, what if they attempt to steal it and all this? I've explained that too. It's not going to happen for a variety of reasons. Again, I talk about those more freely on my other platforms, but come on. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, people. Take this to the bank, mark this calendar, okay? Because I have people unsubscribe to me all the time when I try to tell them that certain things are going to happen about winning. Mark this down. It's May 16th. You can mark it in your calendar. I have just told you that it's going to be cataclysmic. It is going to be realignment. Okay? Looked like I had a little problem with this team, but let me just say it again. May 16th, this is a political realignment. We are going to win bigly. Mark that down. You can take it to the bank. I'm serious. Okay. I probably get some people who unsubscribe with me because they don't want me to talk about winning. I'm not going to argue with Irene there in the chat. I understand all of that. I've explained the reasons why. Make sure you vote like you never voted before. And what I mean by that is get your friends and neighbors, register them, and get them to the polls. I am not going to tell you to blindly vote for anyone. You are going to have to do your research on that. I will just tell you, if I was in Pennsylvania, I wouldn't be supporting Dr. Oz. We are going to do a special show tomorrow. Please, you have got to Do I have some mods on that can post my links? I'm going to post this one, lumberjacklogic.locals.com. I'll post the link over here because it's going to be to someone's channel that I can't promote. Anyways, we are going to do a special live. Make sure, look, you do not have to pay to be a part of my locals. All the information there is free. You do have to register an email address. Guess what? You did that to be able to comment over here on YouTube, and they're tracking every single thing you do. Okay, so please just go over there. I will get the link posted to that. And we will have a special show tomorrow night. We're going to be covering the Pennsylvania primaries. I believe it is one of the most important primaries in the nation. We are going to be covering that. We're going to start probably about a half hour before. I'm getting all the details ironed out with my other friends and creators. But you have got to get involved at the local level. You have got to vote in the primaries. So I've explained this before, but let me just repeat it real quick. If you don't vote in the primaries and we're left with rhinos, all we're going to get is more rhinos. The Republicans are going to win, people. They are. Okay. And Ultra Mega Mojo, you are wrong. I'm just going to say this. No, that's not true. I understand. I've watched the movie. I get every single thing that's going on there. That is not for sure. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, we'll talk about this tomorrow night. I'll explain that as we discuss, the issues in Pennsylvania. Okay. Exactly, Irene. Poll watchers, people running for local offices and talking to people. This is going on in a massive way. This is one of the big reasons the Republicans are going to win so handily. But it is why. So there's this narrative out there that the right keeps moving further to the right and the left moves further to the left. And leftist press really goes on with this, right? People, we in Pennsylvania, you are seeing that they're saying Kathy Barnett cannot win because she has said that she has come out against the LGBTQIA PPXYZ thing. Okay. Don't buy it for a second. Okay. We have not moved further to the right. The Republican Party hasn't moved further to the right. We're more polarized because the left has gone off the deep end. Period. End of story. Okay. That's it. I mean, but please make sure let me go back to this lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Make sure you see that show. I'm going to have a bunch of people on there. I've got the another person who just got banned off of here. Oh, I'm getting tired of it, people. I mean, do you know how much word salad I go through to make these videos for you over here? But it is still one of the best platforms to get the word out. So I go through this whole verbal word salad sitting there. Oh, it's painful. Oh gosh, it's painful. And then every stream I do, they make it yellow. Then I got to challenge it before it goes green, which means it's limited monetization. All this junk I go through to get this out. I am not, I'm frustrated. I'm not having a whine fest, but I just want you to know that's real. So I am so excited about tomorrow night and the show we're going to have again. lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Doesn't cost you a thing. I don't know where we are going to have the show yet. That's why I do not have a link made up. Once that gets done, that link will be pinned to the top of my locals channel. So just use it to get information. You don't have to support me there. Okay. If you want to, fine, but you don't have to. You don't have to pay for any of my content over there. Okay. Everybody, oh, you got to pay. You don't. Stop it. I'm just trying to get information out to you. Okay. All right. Back to this article. Okay. President Joe Biden's, listen to this. This is how idiotic these people are. Oh my gosh. This is why they're going to lose so badly. They're so delusional. Listen to this. Here are 4 takeaways gained from available data and polling. Yes, President Joe Biden's job approval is an important factor in this election, as the president's popularity has been in midterm elections over the past 50 years. However, a divergence is developing between Biden's net approval and the generic ballot for congressional races. For example, in the latest Yahoo News YouGov poll, Biden has a net minus 12-point approval rating, while Democrats have a 5-point lead on the generic ballot. People, this poll is such an outlier. I cannot even begin to describe what an outlier this is. Go to realclearpolitics.com. Look at the average. The average has the Republicans winning in spades. Some polls have the Republicans up in generic balloting by 12 to 14. Yahoo News, YouPoll, Our YouGov poll is one of the worst, most democratically slanted polls out there. Don't trust a single thing that comes from them. Okay, honestly, listen to this. When President Barack Obama's approval rating was hovering close to where Biden's is today, the GOP led on the generic ballot by an average of around 4 points. Yeah, on the average, they already lead by more than 4 points, you moron. Okay, but this is what they're going to do. They're going to take outlier polls for two reasons. Okay, for two reasons, one of which is understandable. Why are you people would be concerned? Okay, you guys all get what I'm talking about there. Trying to create narratives so that things can happen. Okay, but that's not the real reason. He's trying to like put lipstick on a pig. That's what they're doing right now, trying to put lipstick on a pig. In addition, Donald Trump's net unfavorability may be as important as Biden's. Obviously, it is important for each party. People, President Trump has a positive favorability rating right now. Okay? In 2020, voters who dislike both Trump and Biden accounted for only 3% of all voters. Yes, but voters who dislike Biden and like Trump account for more. And this is the most nonsensical thing I've ever read in my life. Let's move on. Among the group of voters who dislike both Trump and Biden heading into the 2022 midterms, each party has advantages on distinct issues. This is complete gobbledygook, okay? Democrats have a large advantage on voting rights, Muslim rights, education, and protecting the rights of citizens. No, they do not. The Democrats are losing on education. I'm telling you, this is wild. Okay. I'm moving on from this. I just can't do it anymore. But this is actually concerning. People are always telling me about, this treaty and NATO and the WHO and everything. People don't even pay no mind to that. This is complete headline grabbing. They are trying to get you amped up about an issue that isn't going to happen. The president of the United States cannot sign an international treaty with a body like that is binding without having support from the other branches of government. This thing is dead on arrival. Take that, May 16th, mark it, put it in the bank. I am telling you, it's not happening. Don't even get worked up about it. Yes, write your congressman on it for sure. Okay. You can comment on all that. Okay. But I want you to understand, okay, that it's just not going to happen. It's just not. And I understand all the concerns about it. And I know they act like complete lawless freaks right now, but it's not happening. Shipper operator says, go on Rumble Lumberjack. All my videos are on Rumble. Okay. But I still use this because my videos on Rumble get 300 views. My videos over here get 10,000. Come on. It's just not even close. It's not even close. Does that suck? Yes. Yes, it does. But we do go on Rumble, and we have our big reunion shows, which we're having one again tomorrow night. Please go to lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Sign up, please. Just take a moment right now and do it so you can watch that, because it's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about the big event. Yes, and please do support the sponsors. They support the show. You got Revere Coffee Company. Okay, use promo code Lumberjack. You can use promo code Lumberjack at MyPillow. You can use it at NeilJohnsonPhotos.com and so on. And you can get your merchandise at LumberjackLogicShow.com. I also use that as a fail-safe. But if you register on Locals, I will have your email address. You don't even need to register at the website. I found that out now. So anyways, back to the comments. I want to see some things. Yeah, I see these comments. Yes. They don't ever get tired of their own narrative. They probably roll their eyes. Yeah. I understand it all, folks. But here, this is really big. When Attorney General Merrick Garland's goon squad came for parents last fall, Attorney General Merrick Garland testified before the House Judiciary Committee that the Federal Bureau of Investigation was not using counterterrorism statutes to investigate parents who were exercising their First Amendment rights at local school board meetings. Last week, the House Judiciary Committee produced evidence that Garland's FBI was doing just that. Like you, this is a direct quote from Merrick Garland. Like you, I can't imagine any circumstance in which the Patriot Act would be used in the circumstance of parents complaining about their children, nor can I imagine a circumstance where they would be labeled as domestic terrorism. Garland told the committee last October. Do you guys all remember that? I shared video of that, actually. Now, ranking member Jim Jordan, Republican Ohio, has identified 3 separate instances in which counterterrorism statutes were indeed used to open investigations into parents whose only crime was speaking at a public event about their local school. Jordan claims that a whistleblower has identified dozens of other similar cases. In one case, the FBI interviewed a mother. Remember, this is the very thing Merrick Garland told you had not happened. They're frauds, people. The FBI interviewed a mother after an informant called the National Terror Threat Operations Center tip line to report that a woman who belonged to a right-wing's moms group had told a local school board, "We're coming for you." The mother, a member of Moms for Liberty, told the FBI she was upset about the school's mask mandates and that the only threat she leveled at anyone was to replace the school board members at the ballot box. This, again, shows you what an absolute fraud the FBI is when you have actual terrorism going on in the city streets like we saw in numerous cities and have seen. Now we've got, firebombing of abortion, pro-life groups and so on. And this is what people, they are fraudulent. The FBI needs to be dismantled, or at least the 5 top layers, and they need a congressional charter if they're to operate. I mean, it's ridiculous. They don't even have a correct congressional charter. The FBI should not be around. Okay. Yeah, they're going to replace them at the ballot box. That's what that means. Okay, everybody knows that. In another case, an informant again utilized the National Threat Operations Center tip line to report a father who fit the profile of an insurrectionist, rails against the government. Oh no, he speaks out against the government. Oh my gosh. Be like one of those terrible patriots who founded the country back in 1776 and has lots of guns and threatens to use them. Oh my gosh, he has exercised his constitutional rights of free speech and the Second Amendment. This guy is crazy. When an FBI agent interviewed the informant admitted to having no specific information or observations of any crimes or threats. In the final case, a Democrat Party official used the Republican state officials has cited violence by expressing public displeasure at a school district's vaccine mandates. Again, after opening an investigation, the FBI found nothing. But 3 times they have utilized this against conservatives. And people, understand this. Merrick Garland lies every time he opens his mouth, okay? And the Patriot Act is one of the worst things. It completely needs to be repealed, and George Bush gave us that. This is where the left and right can come together, because I'll tell you what, the people on the left don't like the Patriot Act either. There's a winning issue. You got people who are willing to run against the Patriot Act. There is a winning issue. I want to mention this too. Rails against the government. Oh, they're anti-government. No, you know what we are? We are anti-bad government. CanCon calls that the snitch line. Exactly. It's ridiculous that people run around snitching on their neighbors. It's totally absurd. Okay. But that's what they do. Smash that like if you would, please. Okay. I want to get to this one. This is big. I criticized BLM, then was fired. People, Zach Kriegman. This is amazing. This is a Substack article where you can get great journalism still in print, or, written, I should say, because it's not print, it's online. Anyways. This is out of common sense. This is Barry Weiss's Substack. I'm going to put this up. Those who don't know, I think Barry Weiss, if I recall correctly, was a reporter for the New York Times. It just fell out of favor with them. Here we go. If you're devoted. Now comes the story of Zach Kriegman, who until not long ago was the director of data science at Thomson Reuters. Okay, so this guy was a director of data science at Thomson Reuters. Okay, so here it is. Let's get into this. Until recently, I was a director of data science at Thomson Reuters, one of the biggest news organizations in the world. It was my job, among other things, to sift through reams of numbers and figure out what they meant. About a year ago, I stumbled on a really big story. It was about Black Americans being gunned down across the country and the ways in which we report on that violence. We had been talking nonstop about race and police brutality, and I thought, this is a story that could save lives. This is a story that has to be told. But when I shared the story with my coworkers, my boss chastised me, telling me expressing this opinion could limit my ability to take on leadership roles within the company. Then I was maligned by my colleagues, and then I was fired. This is the story Reuters didn't want to tell. Okay? He'd been there for over 6 years. He was making over $350,000 a year. In 2020, started to witness the spread of a new ideology inside the company. On our internal collaboration platform, The Hub, people would post about the self-indulgent tears of white women, the danger of white privilege classes. They'd share articles with tires seeing white, habits of whiteness, how to be a better white person. There was fervent and vocal support for BLM at every level of the company. No one challenged the racial essentialism or the groupthink. This concerned me. I had been following the academic research on BLM for years. Okay, and there's links to all this. Again, I posted the link to this article. I'm going to post it again in case you guys want to get this. Okay. See, here's the thing. Are certain people racist? Yes. Is racism systemic? No. In fact, we can show you through data that cops are more hesitant to shoot black perpetrators than they are white perpetrators. This is backed up by actual data. Follow the science, people. Follow the science, okay? The data was unequivocal. It showed that, if anything, police were slightly less likely to use lethal force against black suspects than white ones. Statistics from the most complete database of police shootings, this is from the Washington Post of all things, indicated that over the last 5 years, police have fatally shot 39% more unarmed whites than blacks, because there are roughly 6 times as many white Americans as black Americans. That figure should be closer to 600% BLM activists and their allies in legacy media insist. The fact that it's not, that there's more than a 500 percentage point gap between reality and expectation is, they say, evidence of bias of police departments across the United States. But as you dig further into the numbers, it shows that it's not. It's more complicated than that. Police are authorized to use lethal force only when they believe a suspect poses a grave danger of harming others. So when it comes to measuring cops' racial attitudes, it's important that we compare apples and apples. Black suspects who pose a grave danger and white suspects who do the same. Unfortunately, we don't have reliable data on the racial makeup of dangerous suspects, but we do have a good proxy. I'm sorry, I'm trying to. The number of people in each group who murder police officer. According to calculations, okay, published by Patrick Fry, Deputy Assistant Attorney for Los Angeles County, based on FBI data, Black Americans account for 37% of those who murder police officers and 34% of the unarmed suspects killed by police. Meanwhile, whites make up 42.7% of cop killers and 42% of the unarmed suspects shot by police, meaning whites are killed by police at a 7% higher rate than blacks. You guys get this? So he brings us to the forefront. He gets denounced and eventually gets fired, okay? So there's more whites, so more whites are shot by cops. That makes sense. But again, we're looking at these numbers, okay? Because, I mean, look, I lived in the inner city. It is a tough neighborhood. I mean, look, I went to play basketball, and the cops pulled up and wondered why the heck I was there. And I was there to play some basketball, right? But they're thinking, what is this guy doing here with his friends, these white boys, and all this stuff. And they thought we were lost. We weren't lost. We were going to play ball. I loved it. I loved playing basketball in the hood. It was fantastic. It was street ball. It was all about respect. It was violent. It was everything. It was fun. Okay. And yes, were there dealers there? And yes, did some of them have pieces? Yes, all that stuff. But when you're playing basketball, I don't know. It's just different. Okay. It's all about respect. And you gain respect on the basketball court by playing hard. You don't even have to be the best. You just have to play hard, because every man can appreciate that. And I read Louis L'Amour books all the time, right? And even in the Old West, some of these criminals were bad dudes, but they were tough dudes. And you kind of had to admire them for their toughness. And if that sounds weird to you, fine, okay. But it's real. And so of course I hoop, Antoine, not a whole lot anymore. I loved it though. I was never very good. I'm 6'5", so I just naturally, I just don't have the speed. I do not have the speed. I mean, those guys could bull past me. I just played tough, and I don't know. It was fun. It was fun. There was one time, I'll tell you this one game. I'm sorry, you got me going now, Antoine. There's this one game. I played with this guy who played college ball, and he was runner-up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota. He's a very good hooper. He could beat me. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Miracle, but he could beat me, 9 times out of 10. But one day I had the most unbelievable skyhook, and it was unreal. I mean, he couldn't stop it. He couldn't stop it, and because skyhook is unguardable if you can get a good skyhook going on. Okay. Thanks, Antoine. But yeah, so I bring this up because and I'll just remove this from the stream real quick. The you're looking at a situation where in the hood it was more predominantly black than white. Okay, it was black. There was a large Hmong population. In fact, there was an apartment building down the street from me that was pretty much entirely dominated by a Hmong community. And around me, I had a lot of black neighbors and so on. That's fine, but I mean, to think that in those inner cities where the crime really runs rampant and it deals with a lot of things. People, I'm not going to get into. People say it's just poverty. It's not just poverty. It's lack of fathers is what it really boils down to. They do not have. That's why when you look at the studies on giving cards to write for Mother's Day versus Father's Days in prison, they write to their mothers. They don't write to their fathers. Their fathers left them, and so on. Okay. That's the real problem. But we can't talk about that because, you still do, but you know what I mean? Society as a whole, you're not supposed to talk about that because fathers aren't needed. And there's no difference between men and women and all this stuff, which is all BS. You guys know that. Okay. Let's see. Let's go on to, so I just wanted to cover that. Now let's get on to Brian Kemp here. Okay. This is a big one. People, he is leading in the polls. If you're in Georgia, I don't know. I've got a gal who wants to put together an organization of ballot Dropbox watchers in Georgia. I've got her. I'm going to get her on the show here. We'll have to look into some of the legalities of that because heaven forbid people actually try to hold that to account. Georgia Governor Kemp allies shield details of major Rivian deal from public view ahead of GOP primary. Okay. So this is Brian Kemp and his allies shielding details of this Rivian deal. Listen to this. Just over 1 week before Georgia's Republican gubernatorial primary, incumbent Governor Brian Kemp and his allies are backing massive new economic development project in the Peach State. People, you've got to share this around, especially if you're in Georgia. I'm going to post the link right here in the comments. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's on Just the News. Okay, so go to Just the News and or just follow this link. Okay, please share this all around. Okay, are backing a massive new economic development project, concealing key details of the agreement from the public, while critics alleging the use of underhanded tactics and shady backroom deals push it through despite local opposition. State and local officials in Georgia earlier this month announced a deal to dole out $1.5 billion of incentives to electric vehicle startup Rivian for it to build a $5 billion manufacturing plant east of Atlanta that will create 7,500 jobs. This incentive package, by far the largest Georgia has ever offered to a company, includes major tax credits, a 25-year no-cost lease, and more than $198 million in on-site and road improvements on the 1,978 acres where the plant will be built in Morgan and Walton counties. Okay. The deal to construct Rivian's new electric vehicle manufacturing plant hub was announced in December. Since then, Kemp has touted it as the biggest economic development project in Georgia history. However, Kemp and other backers of the deal didn't advertise that the land transactions for the site still haven't closed. Standard confidentiality provisions within the real estate agreements prohibit sharing of information until closing on the real estate have occurred, said Marie Gordon, communications director for the Georgia Department of Economic Development. The transactions are continuing to move through the process. The rural land on which Rivian plant will be developed will be owned by the state of Georgia and leased to the GDA of Jasper, Morgan, Newton, and Walton counties, which in turn will rent the land to Rivian. This is picking winners and losers. The government needs to stay out of this crap and quit giving money to corporations. Period. End of story. Stop it. Every business should be on equal playing field. I don't care if they're big or small. You pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You make it or you don't. That's how business works. Okay? You don't have the government funding these people so that then they can get more backroom dealings and more money into their campaign coffers. This is out. Okay? You can read the thing in its entirety. I just tell you, crony capitalism needs to go. Absolutely needs to go. Oh, hey, I just got an update on this. By the way, I'm going to put my banner up again. People, make sure you are on lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Again, it doesn't cost you a dime. I will have a link coming up. Wow, we got, okay, with 2 more confirmed. Looks like, oh, we might even have somebody on site in Pennsylvania. Oh, I'm telling you, this could be the show. This is the show you want to see. Lumberjacklogic.locals.com. I will get a link posted tomorrow. It will be tomorrow evening. We're going to be watching Pennsylvania primaries. I think we'll have somebody on the ground there. So big, okay? Please make sure you get to that. All right. Let us see. I'll go back to that. And I got one more here, I think. Oh, I'm not going to, here. Mike Pence is going to campaign with dirtbag Brian Kemp today in Georgia. Okay, this has unapproved YouTube content, so I have to censor it out for you. Mike Pence will campaign with Brian Kemp Monday in Georgia. Kemp is running for re-election in the state. The only way Kemp can even come close in this race, they say the only way, what? They say the only way he can come close is by cheating. Unbelievable. I can't believe they say that. And now Pence is campaigning with the Georgia governor who fought investigations. Kemp's campaign announced on Friday morning that Pence will headline the Get Out the Vote rally for Kemp on Monday, May 23rd, the day before the vote. That puts Pence in direct conflict with Trump-endorsed candidate David Perdue, who has been trailing in the polls. Kemp is one of Trump's top targets this election cycle, because of numerous things. And here's a quote from Mike Pence. Brian Kemp is my friend, a man dedicated to faith, family, and the people of Georgia. Pence said in his statement, I am proud to offer. I can't. That's it. I'm done with that. Okay. I don't know what Pence is. I can't say he's just an actor. I went and saw him during Trump's campaign. I went and saw Mike Pence, and I don't know. I don't know who's real and who's not. I really don't. I mean, I will say this much. I would never support Brian Kemp for governor. This is why I'm trying to get this information out on him, because their primaries are next week. Yeah, we've got to go all in on not having Kemp get the endorsement, just like I'm all in on Oz not getting it. But again, it is your call. You make your own call. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I just tell you who people say, oh, yes, you are. No, I'm not. I can't control you. I don't want to control you. I can just tell you from my own reading, my own investigation, that I would much rather have Barnett than Oz. I'd much rather have Candace Taylor than anybody else. But to me, the Perdue nomination made more sense than the Oz one. That doesn't mean I want Perdue to win. I'm just telling you, I don't get the Oz thing at all. Anyways, I love y'all. Okay. I know I get a little frustrated at times, and people are like, hey, I'll calm down, all that, but it's real. I mean, I get frustrated because I know that the quote unquote red wave is coming. I just want it to be real. I don't want rhinos. Okay. Don, I don't know. Like this, like who's real? Yeah, for all you guys know, I'm not real. You know what I mean? I do my best, but I don't know who's, you don't know unless you know. I know a number of people because I am in constant communication with them. But, like Jesus put no trust in man, and neither should you. You just analyze everything. I keep telling you people this all the time. I mean, just because I say something doesn't mean you have to, believe in it or whatever. I mean, I sometimes I think I'm right, and I'm probably actually wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Okay. We all are. So, hopefully, that makes sense. Anyways, mypillow.com, promo code lumberjack. Oh, I know Mike Lindell's great. Not everything that has come there is 100% accurate. People, the PCAPs did not pan out and all that, but I still love the guy, man. He fights. That's why we like Trump so much. He was a fighter. That's why I like DeSantis so much. He's a fighter. I mean, that guy totally takes on the left in ways that are just flat genius. The whole, you can't teach Marxism as something good in school. This guy is awesome. And people think he's a global. This is the thing. Everybody says everybody's deep state. Well, if everybody's deep state, you got nothing. Okay. I don't think everybody's deep state. Yeah, ultra mega, man. I forgot ultra mega. Oh, Liberty, I don't know. Some ways I would have to, concur with that. I do concur with this. I love Candace. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's it. That's potentially. I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know these people. You know what I mean? It's not like I sit down and have conversations with them all the time. And then um, I have talked to some of them, and some of them I feel are quite good, but shoot, they could prove you wrong once they get in office. It seems like that's a real thing. Um, I don't know. We've got big things happening in my state of Minnesota that I have to cover. But you know, but that is true. It's like high school peer pressure system. One goes and the rest follow. I think you can't take the human element out of it, but not everybody's deep state. Okay, I don't know. Trump isn't perfect. Neither am I. Neither is anybody. So I have a lot of people. I'm just going to say this. I know some people unsubscribe because of this, but I'm just going to say it. If you like what I have to say, subscribe. Just because all the people unsubscribe, because I don't just go along with Trump every time. And some people think like if you don't, you're a traitor. And I don't. I don't. Okay. Uh, why would I just blindly agree with any person? Why would I not use my own brain and cognitive reasoning and try to think things through and take the best information I can get? Pennsylvania's on. We're going to be doing a special show on Pennsylvania tomorrow night. Make sure lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Go over there and sign up so you can get notified of where that show is even going to be, because I don't even know yet. I don't know yet where it's going to be, whose channel it's going to be on, or anything. So I can get it out to you there on locals. I don't use locals as much as some. But I do post most everything to locals, so you can know what's going on. Like if I'm on other channels or something like that, it is a place where I can do that. And you can follow some other really great uncensored creators on locals. I really encourage you to do it. And like I said, you do not have to pay anything. You can support me if you want over there. You do not have to. My content over there, even when I do like a live on locals or a special locals video, it's all free. And my top pin posts over there, you can get some great information. Okay. So there's just so many rhinos. There's so many rhinos, people. There's just so many. And if there's one thing I just don't want to, I want the rhinos gone, and we will lose that if we just end up endorsing the wrong people. We have such a massive opportunity here. So it's better up to them. If someone speaks nice to him, more or less trust them. That might be true. He hasn't been right about everything. He's been right about a lot of things, man. I loved his policies. Like, see, Trump's genius was in that he he stripped regulatory authority from those agencies like EPA. And because what's happened to our government is Congress doesn't want to actually take responsibility for a vote because it puts them on one side of the issue or another, and they want to be just reptilian, amphibious. What's the word? Chameleons. They want to be those little reptiles, chameleons, and that way they don't ever have to stand anything. And I don't like Dr. Oz fortune cookie. I would never vote for him. There you go. I might like him, just like to have coffee with him, something. I do not want him as the senator from Pennsylvania. I want the best choice is Barnett. And oftentimes you're making a choice of who's the best of, a group of people who are imperfect. Okay. But yeah, they're swamp creatures, Frank. So I'll just comment because I'm running off your comment from before. So what they do is they utilize these executive agencies, and they use executive orders, which aren't even supposed to be used for implementing policy over the American public. It is executive orders, just so you know, are for actually managing the executive agency. It's for the president to manage the executive agency. Um, I'm going to address this comment in just a second, but because I don't think that's true. But these executive agencies, that's what Trump did, was he rescinded executive orders and pulled power from executive agencies, which allowed the economy to grow. He was so right on that. It was amazing. But I totally don't agree on this. If Trump wanted to expose him, all he would have to do is say Oz sucks, post videos of Oz sucking, and there's plenty of them, and he would be exposed. That's it. Done deal. And then he could have endorsed Barnett, which would have given her the boost she needed. Right now, it's real close. And if he had endorsed Barnett and just exposed Oz by exposing him, bam, deal done. It wouldn't even be close right now. Okay? So, anyways. Somebody says bull. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, Doug Mastriano. By the way, gal by the name of Julie Green. She got wiped off of this platform again. I don't know why. I mean, she's great, but anyways, she is out there in Pennsylvania right now with Mastriano. So she might be on our thing tomorrow. So he has been pro-choice, and now he's not. See, the problem is, like, people take Barnett's statements, but those are from years ago, where Oz's are within the last couple of years, where he admired China and their ability to lock everything down. Yeah. Anyways, if Trump said anything against Oz, they would run with Muslim hate. He is outed as for what he is. So people have different opinions. I'm fine with your opinions. I have mine too. And I love all you folks. Okay. Yeah. I love Julie Green. She's around still. So anyways, and locals people, I've got a bunch of other channels pinned on locals that you can follow. So I got to shut this down. I want to thank you for joining me today. Yeah. So, oh no, like I say, I agree. I think he gets sucked into some of these endorsements. Yeah, I do. I love Trump's policies. I disagree with him on a few things. I didn't think he should have signed the last stimulus bills and whatnot, but yeah. Father God, we just come for you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We've got a big primary in Pennsylvania. We got a big one coming up in Georgia. Lord, we need you. God, we really do need you. You know that we're fallible. We need your discernment. We need to know what you would have us do. And Lord, we are trying to see righteousness and justice restored. Our FBI is corrupt. So much in the government is corrupt. Lord, we do not just rail against government. We rail against corrupt government. That's what we rail against. We actually like good government. We like good roads. We like good police, fire, those types of things. The things that the government should actually be doing, in a good military and border protection. Those are the things we expect out of our government, Lord. And those are the things that seem to be going awry while they're pushing all their other social agenda garbage on us. So, Father, we just ask for your help, your divine help, Lord. We humble ourselves before you. Forgive us of our sins, the sins of our nation, Lord, and grant us righteous leaders. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, there you go. Yes, the band reunion is coming tomorrow night. Make sure you are on my locals, and that's where you will find the information out about that. Nicole, I don't know what channel we're running on tomorrow night, but we are going to run one. It's going to be big. It's going to be Pennsylvania. All right. Peace out. Love you folks. Remember, mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack. Save you big money and get you great stuff.